Alright guys, so here we are. Another one of these rainbow showcases, and today I'm going to be doing it for everyone's favorite team, the POTARA team. Now, I don't know for exactly what reason, but I find myself not really running the POTARA team very much nowadays. It could be because I've overused it. I don't know, maybe because some of these units maybe aren't the best fit. I certainly would enjoy it more, I think, if Kefla had, you know, more common links with some of these fuckers besides just like, you know, Fuse Fighter. I'm gonna go over a lot of things, but a lot of the newer teams, I do find myself having more fun using nowadays than some of the older teams. Again, it probably is just because, you know, I've used the POTARA team to death, you know, because we've had Kefla on JP ever since, what, last November? So this is a team that we've been running, you know, over and over and over again. Now, this is the team many would consider the best in the game for several reasons. One, you do have what I consider to be, you know, probably the best unit in the game in LR Super Vegeto. Now, the one thing that is very important to consider, though, is that he really does not transform that often, or, like, ever, really. So, it's not, like, something you can completely rely on, or even count, like, when we're going through stages like this. So, that is one of the big reasons this team is looked at so highly. You also have the fact that you have counter units on here who, you know, AGL Super Vegeto and Physical Super Vegeto with their counters are just stupid. You know, you could run Physical Vegeto Blue, who also can have counters left and right, which is just dumb, you know, crazy damage being dealt left and right? You also have LR Goku Black, you have Zamasu, all of those units. As you guys can see, we are running LR Goku Black and also his TUR variant. We're going to be running them as a rotation. Now, this rotation will effectively render this team practically immortal. You know, at least in traditional events, having both the TUR and the LR, especially, like, people always ask, like, you know, for, like, LR Broly or LR Goku Black, you know, truth, I pulled, you know, 2 copies. Do I feed one in, you know, to the LR and, like, open up a dupe path? Or do I go ahead and run it as a TUR partner? With a lot of them, you know, LR Bojack, LR Broly, LR Goku Black, I would always recommend feeding in the dupes. You know, you're going to want, like, full abilities at least on these LRs before you run their partners in their TUR form, right? Because, like, especially nowadays, they're just not as strong as the LR. There usually is a significant gap in power between the TUR and the LR. Like, a significant. So, you're way better off just going ahead and running the... Here, we'll do this right there. Boom. And then I guess we'll go ahead and give the 18 key to our boy LR Vegeto Blue. And then Kefla's going to be left out in the dirt, but, you know, it's alright. Not able to get a ton of orbs for her to actually be able to go ahead and, you know, drop, like, one of her super powerful super attacks. That's one of the only concerns, really, with Kefla, is, you know, in order for her to do really significant damage, she is going to need several orbs. Alright, so 2.5 million by LR Vegeto Blue. You know, he remains just surprisingly, astoundingly good for a free-to-play unit. You know, especially now, like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, LR Vegeto Blue is free-to-play. Especially after they added the 10 POTARA medals to the Baba Shop. That is a unit I absolutely would consider free-to-play. You know, really, you just have to, if you do smart spending with your stones on, like, Dokkan Fest banners and such, it really is quite easy to obtain the necessary Fierce Battle units to actually go ahead and get LR Vegeto Blue. Now, if you guys notice, I do actually have both LR Vegeto Blue and Tech Vegeto Blue Rainbow. But for the purposes of this Rainbow Showcase, I did decide to actually go ahead and go with LR Vegeto Blue. I feel as though LR Vegeto Blue fits a lot better on the POTARA team, like the normal POTARA team, right? The technical optimal team for POTARA includes Super Saiyan 3 Bardock as well as Int Gogeta on account of LR Super Vegeto's leader skill. The second part of his leader skill, he gives 90% buffs to Int Gogeta and Super Saiyan 3 Bardock. Now, with those 2 units on the team, you can support physical Super Vegeto and Tech Vegeto Blue better, and the team will output a lot more damage. But, like, especially for the purposes of these rainbow showcases that I like to do, you know, the team rainbow showcase, I do like to use only the category units, right? Like, just even building teams, like, for me personally, I have a lot more fun only building the category team, like, units with the category, right? But I know a lot of you guys, like, you know, if you're over wondering what the optimal team is, it is, you know, having Super Saiyan 3 Bardock and Int Gogeta on rotations with physical Vegeto as well as Tech Vegeto Blue, and that will output the most damage. Tech Vegeto Blue is still, I believe, the most damaging TUR in the game. Yeah, I believe so, because only a couple LRs outdamage him. But for me, for whatever reason, I have really bad luck. And Tech Vegeto Blue, even though I have him rainbowed, usually will super attack once, then he'll do a normal attack, then he'll do a normal attack, and then it's someone else's turn. For me, that's just not enough to get the damn job done. Like, I much prefer, you know, a unit that would be able to dominate a little harder than that. Here, we'll do this. That will create all of these attack orbs right there. Boom. And then we have enough orbs for Kefla to do a little damage as well. Now, the dodge is so clutch right there. One thing you guys might notice is that TUR Goku Black is not really that good of a defensive unit. He does heal, but in terms of actually reducing damage, it's not good for him. He does take a lot of damage. If he's able to get maybe a super plus an additional or a couple additionals, something along those lines, at that point, TUR Goku Black is able to be a little bit of a defensive unit, maybe a little bit, but you do have to be very strategic in how you expose him to damage, which is definitely a drawback of his card, because in order for the TUR Goku Black or LR Goku Black to be able to hit with any sort of power, they do have to have hits done to them first. So that is one thing to consider there. I think we're gonna move on very, very seamlessly. Like we're moving through Boss Rush much faster than usual, right? Like, I certainly do see how the POTARA team... I'm gonna be very curious to see how much damage this does. Omega Shenron against an Int-type unit, 143,000. That's very high against LR Super Vegeto. I wonder if Omega does more damage than physical future Gohan. I bet he probably does. But usually, I'm noticing going through Boss Rush does take a little longer than this, so the POTARA team is definitely impressing me. Of course, there will be no items needed whatsoever as we just sort of tear through this Boss Rush stage. I should kind of let everyone know, I do think we can start to expect very soon. It's been about a year since they've updated the story, so that could be good for free-to-play players. We could get new story mode coming sometime soon. And it's also been a long time since they've had a... I don't really want to get a Dokkan attack right here. Damn it, looks like I don't have a choice. It's also been a very long time since they've updated Boss Rush. The new Boss Rush stages actually came out back in January for JP. So it's been about a full 7 months since Boss Rush has been updated. So I would expect, like, new story events, new Boss Rush, things like that, coming sooner rather than later. That's the other reason why... Ooh, wow, very slow. Another reason why I wouldn't be surprised about some monster celebration coming up soon. I don't know if it'll be a global and JP celebration. I would say it's very possible, because, you know, Global's finishing up its 3rd year anniversary, like, right about now. Global has, like, a few more days left, and then I expect we probably will get an announcement for Turles or Evolution Blue Vegeta, probably within, anytime within the next 2 weeks. I would say we would get notice of one of those two on Global. Now, if there's going to be a celebration, like, both versions at the same... Like, let's say they're going to do 300 million download celebration. I do think they would do it on both versions at the same time. But one thing that is important for people to know is that it doesn't necessarily mean the events will be the same on both versions, right? So, like, let's just spitball here. JP could get a... let's say a dual Dokkan Fest of Spirit Bomb, Sword, Rage, Trunks, and Merge Zamasu. Okay? And then Global at the same time, they could get, you know, Evolution Blue Vegeta for 300 million downloads or whatever. Like, there could be different festivals going on. Maybe both versions would have, like, the 50 stones used for one ticket. I do think we are coming up on another one of those banners sometime soon. I mean, speaking of, like, yo, if they had one of those banners, like, I would be so curious to see what units they would put on there, because with this account right here, like, I seriously would have, like, they would probably like, there's probably a max amount of tickets you could have. Like, they might cap you out at like 999 or something, because, like, I seriously would have like thousands of tickets if they did a ticket for every 50 stones spent. So I'm going to be very curious to see exactly how they handle that once we actually do get around to having one of those banners again. And I do think we will get another one of those banners too. I've seen a lot of people thinking that it'll never happen again, but I don't see any reason to believe that, or any indication that those are never going to return, right? So there is a lot of stuff to look forward to on Global and JP Dokkan coming up. You know, Global is coming off of the heels of the 3-year anniversary. If you guys, you know, finishing up, let me know what you guys thought of the Global 3 anniversary. It was pretty, you know, it was basically exactly the same thing on JP. I would say both Global and JP got very similar rewards. I think Global maybe got a little bit more stones, like a little bit more stuff, but it was very close for both versions. Only thing, I did love the 3-year anniversary. You know, tons of like free gifts. You know, orbs, stones, training items, all that shit. But there wasn't necessarily a lot of content, right? It's almost as though they expected maybe the Ginyu Force grind to take longer than it actually does. You know, it really only takes, what, 2-3 hours at max to kind of burn through those Ginyu Force events. And then at that point, you're good. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens very soon. Also on the matter, I do expect Global will get the LR Frieza campaign coming up soon, as well as Dokkan Battlefield. Those two things, actually, like, if there was, you know, a 300 million celebration, those are perfect events that they could sort of schedule to come out to coincide with a monster celebration like that, right? Like, you know, JP could get new boss rush and story stages, Global could get Battlefield, LR Frieza campaign, maybe, I don't know, even, you know, push, like, LR free-to-play Trunks up forward. You know, there's a lot of different things that they could possibly do for, like, a 300 million download celebration. I do also think it's possible they could release a unit on both versions at the same time, because there hasn't really been a whole hell of a lot of power creep. Like, last time they did it with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Omega Shenron, like, they would have completely broken Global. Like, they were way too strong to be, like, to have their leader skills on Global, right? Now, I don't, they could release, like, another strong category, and it's like, it's not going to break Global. It's not going to be that big of a deal, right? So they could release a unit on both versions at the same time. Personally, I don't think they will, because there was a lot of negative backlash, of course, to the whole to-be released fiasco with Omega and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but it is a possibility. It's a definite and definitive possibility out there that we could see stuff like that. Ooh, Kefla. Sometimes Kefla is able, like, once she gets enough orbs, she's able to get over 1 million attack stat, and then she has several attacks coming. Kefla can look really, really good in a couple different ways. But alright, guys, at this point, I guess I will go ahead and wrap the video up. The POTARA team, certainly, I mean, would I call it the best team in the game? I feel as though, like, I have to, right? But I certainly, these days, have been having a lot more fun with the Android team as well as the movie boss category team. But look at this, like, we're on the 4th stage of boss rush. We've used no items, and we've taken, like, 100 damage. We've taken, like, or it's 1,000. We've taken, like, 1,000 damage or something like that. Like, barely been hurt at all. No, what is it? It's 10,000. I'm fucking up. Never mind me. We're done here. Rainbow POTARA team. Very, very powerful. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'll catch y'all next time.